there's a thing in contracts sometimes in these library contracts called a reversion clause, whereby they get maybe 2 years, I think is kind of a standard reversion period. I've seen them go from 18 months up to maybe as long as 5 years. And the deal is, if they get your song placed during that time period, if they get a usage, then they end up with the publishing. And if they don't get a usage, then the song reverts back to you and you get to go home with your song back in your pocket. So Matt had a song, he was telling me a great story the other day, and it was up for reversion, and as meticulous and careful as he is about these things, he didn't take care of signing the papers in his window of opportunity to get that song to revert back to him. What happened?
Well, I had pretty much forgotten about that song. I have a lot of songs out there now, and so I as he said, I did not exercise my reversion, and what happened is I just got a BMI statement, and in that BMI statement that song title came up, and this was a song that actually the library had retitled from my original thing because they thought it would be more marketable with this other title, and so I didn't even really recognize the song title, but it was for $2,500. So then of course I went to look very quickly to make sure I could recognize that song title again.
Yeah.
And it was one of those songs that I had written actually in 2002, spring of 2002, specifically for this library. I had given them the song, and I had, you know, I guess if I had paid closer attention to it, I might have been kind of disappointed that nothing had happened all this time. But here's something to understand, is reversion clauses are great, but the conventional wisdom you hear a lot when you read, you know, music business books is like, get the shortest reversion you can, get the shortest reversion you can. But you know, in the music library field, this is not necessarily very feasible advice, because it may just take a while for them to collect all the songs for their salsa CD. So once they have that, they have to get it out. Now it takes a while to get it out into all the different offices of music supervisors all over the place. There's various reasons for that, which are actually pretty complicated, so I don't even want to go into that, but it can take 2 years. It can take 2.5 years until that CD is in everybody's offices. And then it takes a while for that opportunity to come along where that song can get used. So it can easily take, you know, 3 years or something like that. Or in this case, you know, it took 5 years for the money to come back. The song was placed in the
5 years.
Yeah, it was placed in the fall of 2006. So I wrote it in the spring of 2002. So that, you know.
So patience, you know, as kind of a final word, patience is really the name of it. Patience and productivity are the name of the game in library music.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is about building a large catalog over a period of time, but you know, again, you have to look at it as an investment, because it is going to pay you dividends for years and years to come once you have that really large catalog, because what it really is a diversified portfolio, where like somebody who's a songwriter who has 2 hit songs, well, eventually maybe those songs don't get so much airplay anymore. Or even if you were the composer of a hit show, eventually that show is going to go off the air. You had a big chunk of money, but it all came from 1 or 2 sources. This is a diversified portfolio. If you've got hundreds of songs out there, they all make a little bit of money. If one doesn't make a lot of money, it's no big deal. So it's really like an investment. You have to think of it like an investment with your music to make a living off of.
Words to live by. Matt Hirt, man, you're a rock star in my world. Thank you so much for doing this. I mean, seriously, thousands of people are going to benefit from watching this. Thanks, Matt.
My pleasure.